Hello, everybody. Hi, this is Krina again. Welcome to episode number 24 and good day, everyone. Okay, so today I'm just looking first at CoinMarketCap and seems like we are seeing a lot of green, so everything seems to be moving up slightly. Could be because of the latest news that's actually come on. It remained above the 4,000 mark, 4,176 Bitcoin. So that's good news actually. Now, the first news I want to talk about is a very positive news. It's actually Billionaire Novogratz, you know, um, he actually, Mike Novogratz, he actually is very positive on the next 2 years for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. He is what is interesting is about him is that he's actually considered, I will consider him as an elite or an insider, to the people who really in the know, right? Why? Because he was a former Goldman Sachs partner and also the former Fortress Group hedge fund manager. Now, as we know, Goldman Sachs, and people who have formerly from Goldman Sachs normally still have ties to this kind of institutions, and they um, based on what we have known from history is that people who are in this network, they generally know what is going on kind of like behind the scene much earlier than everyone else. And so I really see him as a connected individual, right, who may have inside information. That's what I think. And basically, he has an investment firm, crypto investment firm called the Galaxy Digital. And basically, they recently had a conference call. And basically, the theme is that there's going to be big things coming on to the crypto scene in 2019 and 2020, basically the next 2 years, right? And it first started off by saying, he acknowledged that the company has lost about 136 million in the first 9 months this year, right? And it's been horrible bear market in tokens. There's plenty of reasons to be depressed. But he went on to say, I fundamentally think that you're going to see big adoption in 2019, 2020, I think he mean back adoption. Lots of the items in the digital world, the e-gaming space, are low value items. So I think people will be more comfortable participating in blockchain. They're making big investments in that area, right? So basically, that's what he is saying. He went on to say, which I thought is quite interesting. The part which is highlighted, I thought not very interesting. So he said basically part of the self is because he thinks that the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission for the US, have got tough on a few fraudulent ICOs, and not just but tough on them. They mentioned personal investors can go for reparations in most cases, and people got very nervous because of that. Basically, it's the regulations, the government's fault, right? Now, but the next sentence is going to be very interesting. He said, however, Novogratz also cites a better relationship between cryptocurrency and the SEC in 2019 and beyond as a driving force for new growth, which will pave the regulatory path for larger investors and companies looking to take a plunge into the industry. Now, this is the part where basically we need SEC approval for the ETF, and this is very key because their approval will be seen as very key. And then he's saying basically, he see that, so it doesn't explicitly say that, but it seems to have signaling, right? There's a signaling here that means that he foresees that things could turn better between SEC, right? SEC could be more positive on the crypto space regulations in 2019 and beyond. So it could be 2019 and 2020. So interesting things, coming from a former Goldman Sachs partner, I thought is very interesting news. And of course, right, just few days ago, November 26th, we had an SEC commissioner who actually came out in the news and said, he was on a public podcast, and she actually said, Hester Pierce was the commissioner, who actually said that ETF is definitely possible in the coming 1 or 2 years. But she of course is she's not saying it definitely will happen. She's just saying it's definitely possible. So that I thought it just supports each other within days of news, right? And Max Kaiser, he's a much followed crypto analyst and influencer in this space. He's basically saying that he's basically seeing Bitcoin at 100k, 100,000, which is then about what, 40 times from the current price, which is But he's not saying this will be possible in the near term, but basically he's saying more in the long term. And he said Bitcoin is a monetary black hole that will gobble up all fiat. I thought that is very interesting, right? Basically, he sees that it will become really like a reserve currency that will basically be will be denoted, or will be um, valuing everything in terms of Bitcoin prices, right? That's what it means, and rise to more than 100,000 doing it. But humans themselves may never see that day. So basically, he see a long-term trend, right? Definitely a long-term trend. Another person, Anthony Pompliano, he's also a advocate for Bitcoin. He's basically saying the same thing that I have been also saying, that don't let the Bitcoin price distract you. Really, focus on the fundamentals, right? Went on to actually support what he says in a few, backed by a few points. One is really the transaction, the usage is actually growing, right? The continue to grow despite the prices crashing, right? So number of users on blockchain.com is a wallet, right, has exploded from 10 million in late 2016 to 32 million today. So basically about 3 times growth, right, just in 2 years, really, right? And as the number of wallets as well, so as the total Bitcoin transaction count, growing by 33% in the past year alone. Yeah. So this again, so the usage could be because of people using it for payment, and it could be because of also speculative purpose. Yeah, and of course, apart from the so transaction user growth has grown, but the fees is actually very low. Bitinfo indicated this statistic, the Bitcoin transaction fee has fallen from $52 in late last year to just 60 cents today. And the mining node ecosystem remains strong. So everyone talking about, people are shutting off their mines because it's not profitable. But if you look at the long-term trend, right, it is still up by a lot, quadruple in the past year alone, right? The mining power, the amount of computing power that is dedicated to mining, that's the hash rate, is basically still quadruple in the past year alone. Though, if you look at the news, a lot of the news is highlighting, a lot of companies are actually, shutting down their mines. But actually, if you look at the numbers, right, that's not actually what it is saying. So it is interesting. Yeah, so that's the 4 reasons. Basically, user growth, wallets growth, transaction growth, transaction price keep on falling, and the mining, because mining is important to keep the blockchain very strong, right? You still need the mining to keep it very honest and very strong. And the other piece of news is, I actually want to go to the mining first. Now, it seems like Bitmain, the largest mining company, is going to receive a lot of competition, I would say, because Intel receives patents for energy efficient, high performance Bitcoin mining machines, because that means they're going to come up, right? They already have a patent. So what they're going to do is most likely they're going to come up with chips and, the hardware and the software to actually, make it very energy efficient to actually mine. So it will, encourage more people to go into the mining business. Then also there's there was another news, yeah. Hang on, sorry. Yes. Okay. German firm Solaris that launches 2 Bitcoin mining investment funds. Now, despite all these crashes going on, right, German investment firm Solaris has launched a European private equity fund focused on Bitcoin mining. And it is interesting, you see, the fund has a minimum investment entry of 285,000. That means this kind of funds are really targeting the high net worth or ultra high net worth people. So again, right, it ties in with a few days ago, there was a news article appearing in Forbes targeting billionaires, right, who really say, oh, now is the time, you really need to look at this asset class. And now you are seeing that there's a lot of demand. That's why this German investment firm Solaris, they're launching a private equity fund focused on Bitcoin mining. So despite whatever we heard, the news, right, the mainstream news saying prices are going down, but evidence in the, what is actually happening in the space is that what's actually happening, don't look at, don't listen to just what people say, really look at what they are doing, their actions, where they are pumping money into. So that's exactly what we are seeing, right? Things are happening in the mining space. It's not going down anywhere, right? Then another one which is interesting is a new app which combines messaging and also cryptocurrency payments, yeah, and decentralized nature, private nature, called ChatChat is launched now, right? And what happens is that it's launched by a Chinese company. That's what it is, right? Basically, what is interesting is that so apart from messaging and also the payments, you can also tip each other, tipping, yeah, in Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. So what is so special about this is that you can delete, you can set a timer for disappearing messages. So that means privacy is really a big thing in this app, ChatChat. And the people can communicate in 16 different languages. So that's really good. Yeah. So that's something very interesting, because then looking at the success of WeChat, right, where they're trying to put all the ecosystem in a chatting platform. So I think what happens is ChatChat is probably trying to do the same, but leveraging the privacy nature and the censorship resistance, privacy nature, and such a closed system, right? Really full control by the people. This is a very interesting new development, and let's see how will the adoption be, because given that this is still very new, yeah. And next up, I want to talk about, which is the latest news. Sorry. Yes, on Ripple. Asian markets have a growing appetite for Ripple. So basically, they are saying that they're seeing a lot of demand from the Asia markets, namely like Thailand, Japan, in terms of the actual usage, like remittance, or remittance and just cross-border funds transfers, by companies and also individuals. That's what they're basically seeing, and this could be good news for Ripple. But on the flip side, there was an evidence that basically there's a large sum, 1 billion Ripple was moved, but the fee was it was still very low at a minuscule of 0.00000012 Ripple only, right? And basically it just means that this is the proof here. It basically means that, despite such a large movement of Ripple, the transaction cost is still so low. That means, basically they're trying to imply that the Ripple has no value. Yeah. Of course, there remains. Now, Ripple is a very interesting one, right? It has risen in its place in terms of market cap into number 2. But there continue to be two camps, right? One is saying that, it is very different. It's in fact, it's the completely opposite of Bitcoin Core, right? The number 1 cryptocurrency, because it is not decentralized. Yeah. Ripple is owned by one company and it is totally not decentralized. So, and basically then, it's just not, so it doesn't support the way, the principle is supposed to lay out, right? Basically, you're supposed to, as an alternative to the traditional centralized banking system, whereas Ripple is really just a minor modification from the current system, right? But just making funds transfers in an instant manner, right? And really, really cheap. But so that's the two camps, which one says, you really need to be very different from the current mainstay, current traditional banking system, because that's what an alternative, is really meant for, not just a minor tweak. And, you continue to support the banking system that caused the financial crisis in the first place. So it's very interesting, these two camps, right? But personally, I am more inclined to say that, I really support the alternative, the complete privacy, complete censorship resistant, complete, decentralized. There's no central party to manipulate, to control the money supply. I'm really, in favor of that model. So I'm, really a fan of Bitcoin Core. On Ripple, yes, I see the benefits of it. So I do have a bit of holdings in Ripple, just more like an insurance. But but principle wise and value wise, I definitely see, I'm a definitely supporter of Bitcoin. So that's where I am. And thank you so much today for watching, and hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Live with high energy and live with passion. God bless. Thank you.